So I'm going to pass this on to Jordan, who has a few words to say. And I'm coming up, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today, and thank you, Reclaim, and all the other. Oh, this? I think you hold it closer to your finger. Yeah, just sure. Okay. Can everyone hear me fine now? All right. Yeah, thank you to Reclaim and all the other groups here that allow me to speak. My name is Jordan Goyet. I live here in Warwick, just down the road around here. So I live in Speaker Shikarchi's district. First of all, thank him. He's had multiple meetings with me before on this topic. We've had robust debates about this topic and our differences on it. And I want to thank him this session for telling me he's having an open mind on the topic, and he's heard from his members instead of just talking down to them what's going to be in the budget. He's heard from the members. This was a topic that come up in the previous meetings. I know a lot of members that I know of both the Senate and the House support this policy. It's a policy that's in the Democratic National Platform, and it's not just good fiscal policy, it's good and morally just policy. Because right now the burden of most of our tax burden is on people like me who make income in around the bottom 20% of the spectrum. It's not on the people who make $475,000 a year, since we've cut taxes multiple times for them in 2010, in 2006, and before that as well. And those trickle-down supply-side economic policies were always promised with more jobs, better investment, and such. And the last time we did that, all we got was completely wiped out by the Great Recession. We had some of the highest foreclosure rates in the country. We had some of the highest unemployment rates in the country, and our recovery took years longer than it should have. So we can't follow that same policy again. We hear from the business leaders, oh, now it's not the time to do this right now when we're recovering from the pandemic. We have all this relief money coming in. That relief money is meant for projects that need doing right now. Relief from COVID, new capital projects that need to get done right now so we can recover from this. This policy, this extra $130 million a year that's supposed to come in from raising the top rate just 3 points, 5.9% to 8.99%. That translates to just 3 cents on every dollar after the first $475,000. That's what we're talking about here. And I believe it only accounts to about $700 extra a year in someone at that income rate and what their tax contribution is. But the results for the rest of society will be so much more impactful. It means 8,000 new affordable housing units a year that can be built, 4,000 new public school teachers that to be hired for our schools. And I think Miguel actually mentioned the quality of the schools here. We know that for a while, I come from Pawtucket as well, a really underserved, neglected, deprived district that everywhere is struggling. But property taxes for everybody else continues to go up. The people in the top 1%, they can afford that. Everybody else can't, and they're the people that are leaving to go to schools and districts that have better funding because they make the necessary investments in states across our borders and elsewhere. And so, creating this policy will not create this exodus of people in the higher income rates leave. And actually, they've been the only people that have been migrating into the state over the past decade. And I know lately a lot of organizations like RIPET and the Business Council have been saying, oh, this will affect small businesses. A lot of businesses here file as pass-through entities. They report their profits as personal income. Not a lot of those businesses fall into the top 1%. Actually, out of the 76,000 or so filers that report as pass-through entities, only about 1,500 of those filed incomes in excess of that ratio of the top 1%. It's not the small businesses that you see around here that were mentioned and everything. It's elite law firms, elite consulting firms, and like orthodontists. So I really encourage the speaker and I'm thankful that the Senate leadership, including my Senator Leah McCaffrey here, we've had our differences before, but he's right on this issue. It's good policy to implement. It's time to give a break for the people at the bottom percent that are shouldering most of this burden. About 14% of somebody in the bottom 20% of their income, about 14% of their income goes to their tax burden, their tax liability, while someone at the top 1% experiences only about 7% of theirs. So it's time to give those people at the bottom a break. I encourage the Speaker and the rest of the House leadership to look strongly at this. Please consider it. We've heard all the testimonials from people. You've gotten all of those emails and everything, and you've heard from your own membership that this is a policy that we should support. It's not just good economic policy. It's a morally just thing to do to correct a cruel, sick imbalance that trickle-down economics has inflicted on not just this state, but the country. So I want to thank everybody again for letting me speak, and I'll pass it on to the President.
Great. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that. Once again, Jordan Goyet, resident of the district. Also, want to make sure I mention this, a frontline worker at a nursery home. I can't think of many other professions who probably, had were as valuable and important the last 15 months. And before that, to be honest, your importance didn't start in the last year and a half. So thank you for that, Jordan. Thank you for speaking. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for caring. And thanks for working in a nursing home. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you.